All right, master negotiator Trump knows when to pause and when to attack. And that's the subject of the riff. Stock markets roared on the news of lower tariffs between the U.S. and China, along with the 90-day pause. The major indexes now above their November 5th election day levels, and they're also higher than their April 2nd Liberation Day level. Seems like tariffs down, stocks up. It's a new paradigm. Now, authorized by President Trump and negotiated by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trade Representative Jameson Greer, the U.S. has gone from 145% tariffs to 30%, and China has gone from 125% to 10%. To some extent, that's a bit misleading because the original U.S.-China Phase 1 trade deal imposed a 25% tariff on about half of China imports, mostly related to technology. So, for that grouping, it's 30% plus 25% equals 55%. And President Trump himself reminded us of this when he said, quote, that doesn't include the tariffs that are already on, and it doesn't include tariffs on cars, steel, aluminum, or tariffs that may be imposed on pharmaceuticals, end quote. Mr. Trump also reminded us that the Phase 1 deal for market access for American exports like agriculture, manufacturing, and energy, well, that was never implemented. Indeed, the whole Phase 1 deal, including the ending of the theft of intellectual property, the forced transfer of technology, outright American ownership of their own U.S. businesses in China, none of that was agreed to in Geneva, as the president said, and I'll quote, it's going to take a while to paper it. In fact, it took about 2.5 years in the first term, and the fentanyl problem was never addressed by China, despite their promises. And of course, many believe it was the Biden administration that failed to implement Phase 1. And once China saw the Bidens elected, they decided to discard the whole Phase 1 trade deal. We'll see if we can get it back. Now, Strategas' Dan Clifton estimates the amount of fiscal drag from the tariffs in static terms has fallen to $260 billion. His estimated peak was $800 billion, and the tariff de-escalation significantly reduces the risks of recession and inflation. That's a key point helping to drive stocks skyward. But the so-called reset is really a tariff reset. It is not yet a real trade policy reset. Now, all that said, Mr. Trump is a master negotiator. He's pausing tariffs and reducing tariffs. His tariff pauses and reductions are a nod to small businesses and others worried about tariff shock for their customers and the stock market. Yet, let's not forget, his policy mission of reciprocal free trade, his goal of reordering a broken global trading system is very much in place. Mainstream elites hate tariffs. Mr. Trump, on the verge of signing several large deals, however, is showing those elites just how effective the tariff strategy can be. And that there is the riff.